with Activision Blizzard, they are right positioned to be the first movers with already done technology, with a team ready to adapt to the crypto world. We should calm, relax, take things in perspective, try to understand why that thing is going to work, or why the people are crazy for these NFTs and crypto games, and just think in the natural evolution of technology. Either you embrace it, or you are free to be a grumpy cat and say, bah, 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 that is shit, has no value. My stuff is the best and is the unique thing valid in this planet, I don't know. Like everything, people will like it, people will not like it. But the disruption is inevitable, I think.
Hey guys, welcome to the second talk with Álvaro Martín, Studio Technical Director at Wildlife. Again, we're going to dig into GameFi, NFTs, and the future of video games. Álvaro, could you do a bit of introduction again, a bit of background on yourself for those who haven't watched the previous talk?
Yeah, sure. Pleasure to be here again, part two. So that's great. So yeah, as you said, I'm Álvaro Martín, Studio Technical Director at Wildlife. Already 18 years in the video game industry, and ready for GameFi or crypto games talks. So let's get started.
Perfect. So let's start with the news that you shared with me actually on LinkedIn. Basically, Microsoft acquires Activision Blizzard. So I was wondering, what's your thoughts on this? What's the move here?
It was very interesting because in the first talk, which I encourage everybody to double check, I was talking about the dinosaurs in the industry and how potentially their revenues in the future are going to dip down slowly and they are going to die painfully, I said. Yeah. So this movement of Microsoft actually was very smart, but we need to take into consideration some factors here. In my opinion, they bought Activision Blizzard, of course, not only because of the metaverse and so on, which was kind of the announcement. Yeah, they need to grow their services and because of their platform and so on. But I think they don't want to make the same mistake like what happened back in the days when they were fighting with PlayStation, and was super hard to convince Bill Gates and everybody else around, hey, we need to do a video game console, and no one pay attention to that team until the market was pushing super hard and the revenues in gaming and console was really booming. No? So in this time, they are going to be the first movers. And it's very interesting because they took Activision, Blizzard, King, which are the three companies, and as I'm thinking, the first 100 spots in free to play or in console and whatnot are going to be taken in the crypto gaming market. Yeah, so with Activision Blizzard, they are right positioned to be the first movers with already done technology, with a team ready to adapt to the crypto world, right? So I think they have a long-term plan of a minimum 10 years, and they pay in cash. And this is also very interesting because they pay 69 billion. Well, I don't know. Sometimes people say 69, 75. The number is really high, right? And they pay in cash because cash, with the inflation and the problems that now we are seeing in United States, has less value. And look at this movement. They pay in cash to go to all in crypto for the future, to exit that cash and go and take those hard assets. So there are plenty of things. I don't know if you want to go deeper in in some of these
The
points.
financial aspects.
No, well, not only the financial aspects. There is a big position in the first wave of crypto games. Have the team ready. That team that created products in free-to-play market video game consoles. Yeah. So be the first mover in the crypto market. Exit cash, and now what they need to do, and I think that will be the move for Microsoft, because there are tons of speculation. Which blockchain are going to use? I don't think they are going to use only one. I think the strategy in Microsoft will be aggregate services. Take some of the tokens that are more not stable, no, but the big gaps, and accept as a payment those tokens. Doesn't matter if I don't think. Well, maybe will be in the future Bitcoin, but for sure Ethereum and the top 10 EVM compatibles. I think they want to take that liquidity, and they are going to be aggregators of services. Yeah, and of course they will need to choose a blockchain. I don't think they are going to develop their own. That
Mhm.
can be concerning, but they are going to choose one of these one that I was talking before, maybe Avalanche or that. They need to run their own blockchain on top of whatever the blockchain, and be sure that the technology is scale up for all their services, and basically remove that liquidity from the market. I think that's the strategy long term.
Nice, interesting. Okay. But we see these big moves, but certainly there are still people within the game industry, and they are very often like the technical leaders, they are programmers, they are the CEOs, still having some concerns regarding the GameFi or NFTs.
Yeah.
And some of them still are going with the arguments about the Ponzi scheme, pump and dump, etc. So I know that we discussed this last time, but
Yeah.
as it's coming from the people on these certain positions, I was wondering if you were to tell these people what is the exact value that comes to the video games industry by the NFT implementation, what would that be?
Yeah. Everything is so all is about of digital ownership without any centralized entity that can block you from have that property. Yeah. So without your good intention, you can provide those services today. You have a database, why not? Yeah. But your funds are totally trapped. If you buy an item in Counter Strike, maybe you are lucky to buy it to sell it in, I don't know, in the same environment, but you cannot sell it whenever you want, wherever you want, at the price you want, yeah, with total freedom and ownership of that. Yeah. So if those services are centralized in Microsoft, means that if you have you put in the economy of Microsoft, let's say, yeah, imagine let's doing trying to do a similar with the blockchain. You put 1 million, you have 1 million in value in items. You are not going to escape Microsoft unless they want you or they allow you, and that's what the people dislike actually, and that's why many people, like in big wave, they are moving into crypto, because you have real ownership of the items you bought, and no one can stop you to do whatever you want with that. Yeah. So for us as a user and a gamer, we would like to uh, own a piece of an MMO, for instance, a piece of land, items, and so on, and do whatever we want with them. Yeah, that cannot happen if the service is centralized, because the companies will tend to not let escape you with your money, right? But I think the view of some companies, and right now Microsoft, is like, when there is freedom in the gaming world, or in the game world you provide to the users, the value skyrocket. So there is no reason to block those users for the digital ownership. Yeah. I think they are going all in, of course, maintaining what they have and making everything still working as they do. But I think if they want to be the biggest platform in the side of the gamers and do what the gamers like, we need to pass a period of education for those users, unless you are a crypto native, let's say. But digital ownership is the key here, and the freedom to do whatever you want with the assets you bought. And
Okay.
regarding the Ponzi, again, cannot be a Ponzi if you buy those assets and you are free 24 hours to sell it whenever you want, wherever you want, and the price you want. So cannot be a Ponzi. It's true, like we talked in the previous interview, that depending of the economy of the game, it can be like a snowball of of money. It's not a Ponzi, it's just a bad balance game. We saw that in many games. Just that if you design a game in crypto, you should think twice, how is the economy before the economy of the game, which is called tokenomics.
I guess that among all of these arguments, it's about this. The discussion is about actually not the NFTs itself, but it's about like the correct like well designed economy. Actually, they're arguing that okay, these NFTs are just the additional layer to the regular games. So basically, like it has no value because you can do the item ownership to the players without the NFTs. But like this is the thing, like this is the core of this talk, like building the well designed economy that is really based on blockchain, and it's not just the other layer.
Yeah, totally. In the case of the NFTs, everybody should keep in mind an NFT is just a number, a pseudo number that is very long number. Yeah, it's an identifier. Yeah, and the problem here is the trust, because if you buy an item that say I have a land, but you have no power with that virtual land you bought, yeah, a game like World of Warcraft can sell you a land and can promise you many things. But if they cut the game tomorrow, you lose your land, and if you pay 1 million, you lose it. Yeah. So the problem is the trust. Are you going to trust with how much money buy those items and give all the power of decision to those companies, or you are going to put your money in a company in a game, yeah, which has good tokenomics, yeah, and you are able to really own your assets. Do you trust on Microsoft, for instance? Maybe you don't, or Activision, maybe you don't, but you trust in the technology behind. So whatever happens, you can always sell it in another part of the world to another person that is interested in those assets. Yeah, and that is supporting the player and the digital ownership. I think the key is there. Because again, as you were mentioning, an NFT is a number that identify. It's an item. There is no. We can do that today in the video game industry with a database. But what's the value of that? Is the value that the company decide that has that value. If you want, you buy it or not. However, in the blockchain, which the different mechanics, yeah, is the player and the other players which are setting the ultimate value of that asset. So for the people,
But
maybe, yeah,
it has to have some utility in
yeah,
the world that is like constructed by the game publisher. Am I right here?
yeah, that will be ideal, because in free to play you have vanity items, and you have some items in the game like give you utility in the game, right? And they are more or less valuable. Yeah. So without utility, it's highly speculative. Yeah. Right. So, for instance, um, you have right now board apes or CryptoPunks. Those are PNGs, yeah, and they are nice for fiscal illusion, not for something illegal. You're investing in digital art, and you put a crazy price. Well, I don't know. It's up to you. It's purely speculative, right? How much is the value of a CryptoPunk? Whatever the market decide, yeah. Um, but in the case of the in-game assets, is like, what's the value of unique sword that is with the effects of fire? There is no other one in the world, and you can kill monster with I don't know, one strike, right? So if you have 10 million players, like back in the days with World of Warcraft, then that source will be incredibly valuable. I don't know what should be the monetary value, but it's incredibly valuable because you are going to be the, I don't know, the dragon slayer, or I don't know, dragon, the ultimate dragon killer or something. So the people are going to set up the value of that. So in good tokenomics, the items, those NFTs, has a utility. The higher the utility, the higher the value. Yeah, there is always an speculation depending on the moment, like everything, right? It's not the same like a World of Warcraft today, like 10 years ago when the people were more eager to play World of Warcraft and things were new and these kind of things, right? So those things will be adjusted by the time. But yes, the utility is the key in the sales of the NFTs. If not, it's purely speculative thing. However, NFTs or that speculative thing exist today with in the free to play with vanity items. I don't know if you know, but at the beginning of the iPhone, when the App Store was a bit more relaxed in the condition of the service, you had an app that is just showing you like a beauty card that were saying I'm millionaire, and the people were paying for that application millions of dollars just to show in their phone, hey, I have this, and as cost 1 million, this represent that 1 million. It was very stupid, but that thing was working and people were paying millions for that thing, right? What's the value of that? Well, the value that
Vanity.
the millionaires decided, no, the people with that amount of money, right?
Mm.
I
Get
guess
it.
the utility maybe was, I don't know, flirting or maybe entering in a club as a VIP. I really don't know, but
Another thing I read among these comments, and this is the quote: "We'll see a huge surge in interest now. People that don't understand investing in it. It will crash as there will be no good games on the tech, and the tech will be blamed. It will crawl from the ashes and slowly establish itself at some future point. That's my prediction for NFT gaming in the next 10 plus years." What are your thoughts on such a prediction?
so I tend to not follow people like Rasputin or those oracles that can see the future. Yeah, uh, because I guess you was an extremely wealthy person who is billionaire and swimming in millions of dollars who told you that because he's able to see the future. So that's great. You have nice friends. But for the let's take it serious for a second, that argument. Yeah. Imagine that many years or decades ago, people were with a horse, yeah, driving horses in the street to move from one place to another. And then suddenly came one guy with a car that was moving slower, that was with producing tons of smoke, yeah. And that person decades ago said, that thing of the car is not beautiful, cannot allow you to farm or help you in the farming. Uh, those are the same argument. Those things are going to die because the horses are beautiful and these kind of things and are nice animals, and he's doing the same. He's doing the same thing. A car is even slower. I can go faster with my horse, right? Then the same argument happened with the internet. There is a famous interview with Bill Gates that guy was asking in an interview. I don't remember the name of the person, but was asking why someone will see a baseball match in internet. No, if they have the radio, do they know the radio? These guys, yeah,
Yeah,
and
I saw this in the
yeah, and you have more example like the ice cars with the electric cars, right? Why you need an electric car? And in every disruption of technology happen the same thing. There is a curve of deception, acceptance, and then the disruption and these kind of things, right? It's like the solar panels, wind, or these kind of things. Yeah, um, that the human being tend to not embrace or don't like what they don't know and be afraid of changes. The older you are, less plasticity you have in your brain to accept those changes, right? So in crypto happen probably similar stuff, no, with the Web 2 versus Web 3, right? Um, it's like, yeah, Bitcoin is not a real currency because reasons, right? Has no value. Well, has the value that the people because they freely buy and
yeah,
sell, right? So
just
mm,
like the fiat currencies actually.
yeah, so
Like
when before the
keeping the
fiat,
value.
yeah, before the fiat currency, the dollars were backed by gold. Yeah, so has the dollar at that time that paper has no value, and you were probably the people at the time say, no, this has value because it's backed by gold by the reserve of the United States or the central bank of something. Then they broke it. And then they still arguing that the dollar has value because reasons, yeah, and Bitcoin has no value. Yeah. So in the future, probably we have already some projects in the stablecoin that will be backed even by gold or real gold or other reserve of other other crypto tokens, and probably in the future, maybe for usability, we don't know, but probably maybe some kind of currency backed on Bitcoin or other currency like UST that is backed by Luna. Yeah. So when people need more dollars, more digital dollars, they burn Luna token, yeah, to balance and keep the ratio pegged to the price of the dollar. So coming back to the initial argument, with those things, I mean, you have always in human beings that kind of reaction. They fear what they don't know, right? And they tend to think that what they know and what they invested so much time and knowledge to learn and live out of that is the thing that has value. Everything else is shit, is a crap because they don't believe on it. And I think that that's only making you think that if that were true, we were still with horses, not with cars. Yeah. Maybe we should
Yeah.
have faster horses today because some kind of engineering or bio engineering or something, but with horses. And that didn't happen. And we have the train and so on and so forth. So and we have aeroplanes. Probably the first aeroplane was like, that is crap. No one is going to use that for traveling because the train, and before that, no, because the train is shit because it's better with the horses. And so every year you have changes in the industry. Every few years, 2 3 4, you have disruptions in the technology, and the technology is what's driving us in the future to have a better life, easier life, and it's going to happen, you accept it or not. And so that person, I would like to have a conversation with that person, but might happen what he said. If that's true, I just can tell him that he sees the future. Why he don't short all the crypto market all at once with all his wealth? And let's see what happened in 4 years.
Okay, I'll try to schedule such a talk between you two.
It will be
Give me
interesting.
couple of months. Okay, and we can run away from the Bitcoin talk, I think. So I sent you this post last time, and basically, in the last talk, you were strongly relying on Bitcoin as an example of like the mechanism that might be mirrored in the well constructed game economy.
Yeah.
And yeah, like as we see, I mean, now the market goes down, and like if we could go through these arguments of that person that I sent you regarding the Bitcoin, like it has no value. Do you have the file opened, or do you want me to go?
I don't have the file open, but if you are able to tell me or read it, better, right? And not for me because I can open it right now, but
Yeah, sure.
but for someone that will see this interview, maybe will be lost, right?
It does not generate cash flow like stocks, bonds, and real estate.
Well, stock, bonds, and real estate are highly speculative or low or high, but doesn't matter. Are purely speculative stuff based on the US dollar that is issued by the central bank, backed by nothing. People tend to say that the US dollar is backed by the military power of of United States, and because they can impose the dollar in those things, that's why they have value. But that cannot be more virtual value than that. Yeah, has no value. Well, there is 24 hours you can trade Bitcoin. Has value because the people want to set up that value, right? And there is no argument. Maybe for him has no value because he don't see the utility on it. No, you mentioned also that regarding the digital gold. The digital gold argument is just to make for someone that don't understand the blockchain or crypto, is to make a fast path, let's say, to let them understand what's Bitcoin, right? So gold, so more value has the gold, more gold are going to put in the market the miners, yeah, because they are going to earn a lot of money. They just need to mine more gold. Yeah. So that is so there is no finite number that we know of gold, right? So the value of that is totally inflationary. Yeah. So you can argue that the latest 2 million Bitcoin that should be mined, it's inflationary because someone need to mine it. Yeah. But there is no more than 21 million Bitcoin. There will not be more. So it's mathematically determined that will not be more. Yeah. So the simile with the gold is just simply to let the people understand, like, is what gold was supposed to be. Now we engineered gold, and it's called Bitcoin. Yeah. So with all the technology advances we have today, what means I can send you 1 bar of digital gold right now with my phone with one click. You cannot do that with gold. And on top of that, you have a highly speculative market, which are derivative of the gold and all of these kind of paper trading of gold. Yeah. And you, if that person knows the market, he should know that is completely manipulated and in the hands of few people, and that doesn't happen with Bitcoin. Yeah. So the simile with gold is just a we engineered gold as was supposed to be. Yeah. Because other argument that you put on the table was, hey, you cannot do stuff like oil or copper or these kind of things. Yeah. All right, let's. That is it's a very nice argument because I wonder from the price of gold, yeah, or copper, or doesn't matter, from the price of gold, how many of the current price of 1 bar of gold, Yeah, what is the amount of value that is spent today in electronics or in I don't know, jewelry and these kind of things? What I mean with this is, if you tell me that today the market cap of gold is, I don't know, 10 trillions or maybe more or a bit less, doesn't matter, 10 trillions, and you tell me that every year there is 1 billion transactions just to use gold in in electronics and those things, the whole value of gold from that amount of utility through the real value, all of that is pure speculation. We can say, of for what? Because you cannot say, hey, the industry of the jewelry and the industry of electronics keep the value of gold because it's super important. It is, but is enough important to say that is the price of gold? No. Gold is a store of value because the humankind decide was the best store of value. Yeah. But why is not uranium, or maybe in the future the cost of lithium is even higher than the gold because it's more precious, yeah, for the industry. So we as human beings, we need a way to exchange value, yeah, and to store that value. We just have new ways to do the same thing, mathematically engineered to work as was intended. And that's why we do the simul with between gold and Bitcoin, because I don't consider because I don't know you. I don't want to buy today a coffee. Like there are many stories of this. A coffee with Bitcoin, yeah, and in 10 years that coffee cost me 1 million. So that that's why I would not use Bitcoin as a payment. Maybe at the beginning was making sense, but I would not use Bitcoin as a payment because the industry need to solve other issues, right? Um, and the people is not going anymore in there with their pockets full of gold coins, right? We have another ways to exchange value, but again, dollars or fiat currencies are backed by what exactly? By what? By a speculation or by us human beings or politician that impose us this story of this has a $1 has a value of $1. Why? Because they say so. Yeah. At least we can say Bitcoin has that value because it's open for trading 24 hours and people freely buy and sell 24 hours and set up that price. And there is only 21 million Bitcoin, and that's it. So it's a very interesting argument, but I think is again is I'm used to those commodities, and I can use oil, but it's such a nonsense. I can go right now to an exchange and buy oil. Means that I will have the oil in my backyard or at my home, and I will take that oil with I don't know which kind of process at home and convert it in petrol for my car. No, right? I will convert it in diesel for heat my home. No, right? So when the people say, but has no real utility, like oil, right? It's like, man, you are buying virtually the value that people say that oil has, but you don't have that oil. So what's the difference between that or Shiba Inu? There is no difference. There is no difference unless you tell me that you are the provider of the gas, natural gas, and this kind of thing, and I transfer you the physically that gas, maybe. But ultimately, the best thing of what we do today of trading, it's applied to the cryptocurrencies. But you cannot say, hey, no, I buy oil because it's backed by real oil. No, you are buying a bit in your screen with the value of oil. You are not buying the real oil. It's not going to your home like gold when you buy in the exchange gold. So if it's mathematically determined that the price of the value, I prefer the digital ownership of Bitcoin and not something that is even completely unreal. I'm buying gold. No, you are not buying gold. I'm buying oil. No, you are not buying oil. But when you buy Bitcoin, you buy Bitcoin. More, give me more.
Okay. More arguments regarding the Bitcoin. Okay. It's not and never will be a legal tender in a serious economic jurisdiction like the yen, euro, and US dollar.
All right. So there is already in pilot program 20 CDBCs, central bank digital currency,
Yeah, I know this.
and
But
there are hundreds that are on process of research and so on. But what?
but as far as I know, they like this is going to be like associated with the national currencies, and like this will be like 1 to 1, like $1
Yeah,
to one virtual dollar, I would
yeah.
say.
What I want to say is that the world is moving to that, and that technology comes from the blockchain, from Bitcoin.
Yeah,
So the technology works, is good, and it's the best way. Yeah. Then
yeah,
the
but I
difference.
can I can imagine that in the case of the national currencies, they won't be able to say like this is the finished amount of our currency.
No, of course not. So so yeah, that's it. That is the very interesting conversation here. So we see that the world is moving to the blockchain for their own interest because the technology is superior. That's it. It's superior and it's doing the disruption and it's better. Yeah. But are they going to abandon fiat? Oh no, my friend, because one of the reasons why the banks are private and are not public banks, the central banks, is because they can hide what they do with the money, how much money they issue and how much money they give to. Yeah. And in Bitcoin, you cannot hide anything. It's a public ledger. The politicians are not going to abandon the power they have. Just they want to pervert, use the technology advances and pervert that to have more control on us. That's why I believe CDBCs are a terrible idea, and I prefer USDT even before those government CDBC. Yeah, because in some countries, if I give you as a present 10 euros, because I don't know, you are my nephew, and in Christmas I give you 10 euros, so you spend it in whatever you want. Yeah, in some countries like Spain, you need to pay taxes. It's in the law.
Really?
Yeah, it's in the
Okay.
law, and
I mean,
in many countries, it's in the law because it's a transmission of value. So you have, it's not like that, but to explain it super fast, you have, my nephew has capital gains. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and I
But
need
I mean,
so.
in Poland,
Mhm.
it depends on the like the how close you are to the relative. Because like your parents can give you to your to their son, for example, the money, and like this is like it's called like the zero line. So like it doesn't come within the tax, but like to the other people, it's considered as an income, as far as I know.
Yeah, so with the fiat currency, the physical one, they cannot control that. But with a CDBC, they can, and they can
Yeah,
automatically tax you, right? So that's why I believe CDBCs are the most, or one of the most evil things that they are going to do to us. That's why Bitcoin, it's one of the blockchain technology, the projects that are good. It's the our last resort of freedom, because man, they control us, what we see in internet, what we send mails, which website do we enter, when we buy with a credit card, um, which video games we buy, and so on and so forth. also, so in the moment that they have that power, they are going to use it in their own interest. We are giving pieces and pieces of our freedom to politicians again and again, and it's not because they do for us too much, yeah. Because if you had a great law, very simplified and so on, I tend to think that people will have no problems to that the 50% of their salary goes to the government, because they know perfectly and they can see it in the street that the money is spent in the benefits of everybody, but that's not true. So the CDBC that will be the most horrible thing, right? So what I wanted to say, if there is a CDBC that backed by Bitcoin, for instance, derivative of Bitcoin, that will be really smart. Yeah, like back in the days with gold. So you have a kind of as a government, you might have more than printing. You are going to dilute your capital, saying, hey, today is one of my euros, 10 of my euros is one Bitcoin. But for whatever the reason, we enter in a recession, or we need to spend money because we enter in war, or whatever the thing will going to happen. Okay, I will give, instead of printing from nothing, I will going to dilute, and now is 20 euros is one Bitcoin. Yeah, for whatever the reason, but the rules are clear, and so on. That might be something kinda good. But at this point, you think, why I need a derivative of Bitcoin if I can use directly Bitcoin? Yeah, it's like gold. We did a derivative of gold with dollars and other currencies backed by gold, because it was easy to transact between you and I, a piece of paper and not a huge bar of gold, right? Um, Man, I don't know. I think I don't know where are we going with these CDBCs and so on, but I can tell you that the newest generation, the crypto native, we are not afraid to change the country. We are not
Yeah, true.
afraid. And so they
True.
better think twice what they are going to do.
Okay, I think that this is basically, all the crypto side of our talk is like the material for another talk. So maybe let's just get back to the game
Let's do that.
aspect.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So Sandbox. This is the game that you mentioned last time, and like this reminds me kind of like the interactive Lego,
Yeah.
which is pretty nice because like back in the days you used to play with your imagination, and now you can basically program the elements and how do they move, what do they do. So this is a really interesting concept. And the second one you mentioned was Axie Infinity. And I saw a documentary a piece on YouTube about the people from Philippines who, during the COVID crisis, they were like earning their life, actually earning their living on Philippines, because playing Axie Infinity was even a better choice, a better salary than their regular jobs. But as far as I noticed, the I mean, in this case, for quite a short period of time, but this idea earned to play has been fulfilled. But the economy was broken, as far as I know, and they are struggling with the inflation in Axie.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering, like, do you see any projects that are already on the market or are coming to the market with the well-constructed economy? And if yes, what these projects are and how the economy is structured there?
Unfortunately, no, I don't see, or I didn't read any white paper that I can think of. Like this has really solid tokenomics. Um, Lately, I'm learning a bit more of what they are doing in Axie Infinity with the land and how it works. And I think is really smart. What are they doing? But they need to fight in-game inflation with generating tokens without a real proof of work, yeah, from the player, because it was like a click, 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 right? Um, so you have two good examples. Axie Infinity as a job, or well, let's say it in that way. Axie Infinity as a job and Sandbox as to have fun. Yeah. So Sandbox is similar like Minecraft, right? There are other projects, but you can program. It's like a virtual Lego, as you said. But right now, if you know a bit of programming in Lua and so on, in those games, you can do little scripting and make um, I think even for kids are really really nice those kind of game to learn, yeah, to learn. Um, then you have that branch of fun, yeah, and then the people are going to set up the prices or balance those prices of how much cost, like a judge. I remember a judge was sold by $500,000, a virtual one or something. And yeah, people are going to set up the prices of that, like in every free to play game, in every free to play. If people are complaining about or they don't understand play to earn, it's because they don't know some stories or some insights from free to play, because that happens in free to play. Not so bold, yeah, but kind of, yeah. Whales that spend 20K one day and even millions, yeah, in games, but they just don't know because it's not public, like the blockchain, right? So um, in Axie Infinity, coming to the make a wealth out of work. So what they are doing with their land right now is very smart, yeah. But they need to fight with one thing, the inflation of the other one. But again, we need to have full respect for these guys, because they were the first one and be highly successful. So they did what they needed to do, and now they are trying to figure it out how to balance that. And will be really complicated, but I think they have a really smart design. So in the play to earn, make a salary at the end of the month. Um, is that is what I call a good tokenomic. You should have a proof of work on top of that. You have in the real life investors, even speculators. Look, it might sound very stupid, but you know that in the mall, I don't know, a bottle of liquor, whiskey, or whatever costs you, I don't know, $5-10, yeah, or euros. And when you go to the disco, yes, because you like to be there and like to look fancy and this kind of thing, you pay the same amount for only one cup of or a glass of that liquor with tons of ice. So it's not that kind of a speculation. You know what I mean? Has a kind of vanity behind, right? And there are people that sell you those goods in the disco, yeah, that they earn money out of it. So let's do a fast parallel with that, yeah, or with the coffees, like I mentioned the last time. You're going to have people that will believe, or are willing to pay 1 million for a piece of land, yeah, and if you have the fundamentals in your tokenomics, like Bitcoin, might be another one, yeah, but I really like the Bitcoin because simulate a real world, like mining gold, yeah, but digitally, and I think it's easy to understand, and the humanity are doing that since thousands of years, and our brain is ready to understand that very quickly, right? So if you have a game where you can mine those assets or cut trees to have the trees of resources, and those trees grows, and you can cut it again, and you have a parcel of land where you have a farm maybe, or this kind of things, yeah, you're doing a proof of work because you are putting water or collecting water for that and so on and so forth. Those resources give you more things, like maybe you can have more powerful axes, and maybe you like to train axes and not you don't like anymore to go for the water or cut the trees or these kind of things, and you delegate that work to a person that can be in Philippines, Venezuela, and so on. And for whatever the reason, the value of that in the game for the people that plays is very high. So you share a bit of that as a payment to those people that are doing that proof of work. What is the proof of work? I put 8 hours of my day collecting those things, farming and cutting trees virtually and whatnot. Yeah. And you get paid for that. Yeah, has no difference than the real world. The real world difference, of course, has one that is that you can put a piece of food in your mouth, right?
Yeah.
But so, what's more valuable today or best paid? The work of an engineer in front of the computer writing weird stuff, or a farmer with the cows or bulls or sheep and these kind of things. Yeah. Intrinsically, you might think, hey, if we don't have food and the farmer is not doing those stuff, we are all of us are going to die. So that should be more important. But this not paid as good as an engineer or as a trader of gold. Yeah. So that means that you are a speculator or what you do has no value. No, has value because people believe, all of us, that what you do has value, right? So, and that's the fundamental of play to earn. You are going to do things in a virtual world. Today, everybody call everything meta, the metaverse. I think that's oh my god. But anyways, so you're going to do things virtually that matters and has a value for few people or a group of people or many people, doesn't matter what, and you are going to earn ultimately money out of your work. So if you organize with this your game with these fundamentals and good tokenomics that make sense and are not a snowball of something that can explode, yeah, I think you are going to work, you are going to have a good product. Yes, you need a good game, yeah, because and that's why in the previous topic we were mentioning if crypto is going to kill the fun in game, and I don't think so, because in the moment that the crypto games are not going to be fun, people will abandon it, and
Yeah.
those products are going to zero. Yeah, well, not
Yeah.
zero.
There will be no value.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's like I think it's like in everything in life. Yes, we are going to have a virtual um I don't want to say metaverse, but we are going to have a virtual job to do like we do right now. We are here in in this meeting, right? We're using a program that record us. We pay a lot of money for our laptops. What's the value of the laptop? Because we just do a video call, yeah. So I don't know. So I think we should calm, relax, take things in perspective, try to understand why that thing is going to work, or why the people are crazy for these NFTs and crypto games, and just think in the natural evolution of technology. Either you embrace it, or you are free to be a grumpy cat and say, bah, 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 that is shit, has no value. My stuff is the best and is the unique thing valid in this planet, I don't know.
Mhm.
Like everything, people will like it, people will not like it. But the disruption is inevitable, I think.
Yes, yes. This is my bet too. That sooner or later it will come, and like it doesn't have to dominate the market, but like it will be just slowly growing, with some failures and some successes on the road.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, Alvaro, do you have like 5 minutes more, or do you have to run?
I do. I do. I discovered
Okay,
today
that will,
at the
that
midday
will be
that was. Huh?
that will be the last question because like it's from my colleague.
Sure.
So if you don't mind,
Sure.
okay. So it's from my colleague. What's in your opinion the future of a single player buy to play a titles in the upcoming decade? Will they become less popular due to the growing interests in play to earn models, e.g., will gaming studios be less willing to produce this type of games, or will they stay as a strong sector or niche?
That's very interesting, actually. I think they're going to be enriched with NFTs because um, triple A solo games, right? Oh, well, maybe it's not triple, but it's double A or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but it's right now will be like a way to have an interactive movie. Yeah, where you are alone in that environment and you get kind of sucked by the story in that world. And solo games has that advantage that you don't get distracted by one guy passing by and doing weird things in front of you. So you are in the story, right? Um, I don't think that it's going to die at all, and I think will be enriched with NFTs. Why I say this? There are many games, free to play and even play to earn, that will have a very strong PVE mechanics. Means you don't play with others, but you are doing all of those proof of work and these kind of things. You are going to trade your stuff. Yeah. So I think solo games has an opportunity here to be really valuable because it's like let's think about it. Like, let's imagine that I launch like Game of Thrones, yeah. And instead of be a TV series or a movie, I do it as a gaming experience, yeah. And let's suppose for a second that you have it's an open world, solo, yeah, but it's an open world,
Yeah.
yeah, and you are able to win in the path NFTs, yeah, and the first 1000 players will be able to, I don't know, kill I don't know, Cersei or one of these very bad so, and take for instance the Valyrian steel sword, yeah. And if you replay the game or you continue with that sword, you are going to have a totally different experience as a solo game because that sword is more powerful, or you are able to capture a dragon egg and change the story. Yeah. So, and those things you can only experience it if you have that limited amount of eggs, for instance, the dragon eggs. Yeah. And then the people are going to rush for that, do investigate even more, is stop there to gather that value and maybe sell it to, because when that became viral and you see awesome things, if you are able to do it and you are willing to do it as a company, that the experience, if you capture that dragon egg and you grow it slowly with you with the whole adventure, is so different, so enriching adventure that is going to have a value in the market. So you pay, I don't know, 100 euros for the game, and then you capture that egg and then you put it to sell in the market for 100k or something because you were one of the first one, yeah. And people know the amazing experience they can have if you have that egg, yeah. And you buy it, you connect your wallet, and you start playing with your little egg, and you evolve the dragon, yeah. So I think, and I repeat again, if the company is smart enough, if the company understand the blockchain and that intrinsic value and transaction and so on, I think gaming will be really enriched. There will be people not willing to pay 100k for the egg, yeah, and there will be people not willing to pay an early access to capture the egg, yeah. But like everything in this life, you are going to watch a YouTuber or people in Twitch that are going to capture it, and you are going to enjoy it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a very good question. I didn't think in the past about it, but I think if well done, we are going to be probably in the best years in the gaming this industry again. Are the companies going to do it or willing to do it? I don't know, but they can. Yeah, sure, they can. Another thing is that because right now AAA solo games are like it is today, right? You have that replayability in the games to discover new
Yeah.
things. Yeah, they just need to enrich that with the not with NFTs that is a number. It's more than that.
About experience.
Yeah,
It's about the experience actually.
yeah, and probably those people that has that egg, that NFT, can be in the premiere of the I don't know, in the next movie of Harry Potter or whatever the thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, this is something that actually Gary V mentions a lot, that NFTs should give the access to like community or like certain event
Yeah,
or certain experiences, possibilities, information, but like to be kind of the key to something that people would like to actually experience or like see or know.
yeah. So right now with the technology, we have the necessary tools to prove the validity, authenticity, and that you really own that, and you are the unique person that owns that, or one of the lucky person that owns that NFT. Yeah. Then what we'll be able to do with that power, it's open, right? We are going to see in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah. Awesome. Alvaro, thank you for this talk,
Yeah,
and I hope that we are going to have another one.
yeah.
And
This is a non-stop. Maybe we should have it more often. With
I
maybe
mean,
shorter,
don't worry,
shorter meetings,
maybe
but
shorter.
yeah.
Yeah.